about the hiring process for each of you guys, because today there seems to be this very clear-cut way to get hired in comedy. It's either go through the UCB factory, which has become this huge thing, or start a web series, you know, throw something on Twitter and build a following. You guys all got hired before YouTube. Brian and Andy, this was your first job in television, right?
I worked on Jonathan Brandmeier's television show. He was a local Chicago DJ.
Oh, excuse me.
After that, working on Conan's just a formality. Oh yeah, we're definitely bringing that
Brandmeier pipeline.
Yeah.
But John, your first job was Dana Carvey?
Yes, I got a writing job on Dana Carvey show, and then I submitted to Conan. I was living here, and it took a couple rounds, I think, of when they were hiring. I think I interviewed twice or three times and got hired on the second or third time. And I know for me at least it helped that, you know, because Robert Smigel had hired me at Dana Carvey show, and he had a big hand in helping me get hired at Conan. Certainly got my stuff looked at. I mean, I still had to deliver the goods. Don't get me wrong, but it helped to get those goods.
You had to be interviewed and asked, what word would you say to bum people out?
Yeah.
If you were in Hawaii.
Pretty sure pubes was not in my pitch packet.
No, that wouldn't hack it. I'm curious about your first impressions of Conan O'Brien when you got hired.
So tall.
Yeah.
Smart.
Red hair.
And a woman, you don't know that until you get to her. A beautiful woman. Stunning. Fall in love right away.
Good answers. Good joke answers.
Do you know, actually, I should say this, when I got hired, I don't know if you remember this, McCann, I was out, I had done Luna Lounge, and then you and Tommy Boccia came in, probably don't remember, and then I only found out because Tommy was trying to hit on some girl I was hanging out with, and then, but he was nice enough to chat with me, and then he said, you know, he was leaving Conan, and then I had my agent give me a job there or whatever happened.
You're right that I don't remember, because actually a couple of days ago I was telling someone I had never been to the Luna Lounge, so.
You have never been proven more wrong in a more public, humiliating way.
Wait, so you got hired because Boccia hit on a girl that you were with,
Yeah.
and then you decided I'm going to submit to Conan.
I told him I can hook you up if you get me your old job at Conan.
So this is pre-internet, this is how it worked.
So you had to engage in sex trafficking to get a job. Is that?
I guess I was a pimp when you put it that way.
Conan famously had this writing background before he got hired. He was never on television, you know, SNL and The Simpsons. So he's a writer. How involved was he in those writing rooms?
Most of his writing actually would occur at rehearsal, and it was like lightning fast, and it was something that I was not accustomed to, like bring some like ridiculous thing, like we just did at the beginning of this show, like, okay, yeah, I'm half jellyfish, and here's the whole skit. And he would see that, and he would just go, huh, and he'd get into a sour mood, and then like, and he'd be like, what the fuck's this from? You know, like, I'm a half jellyfish, that's pretty funny. And then, and he'd just sit there with a script and with a pen and just like do this, like something for like 3 minutes or something, and then hand it back, and he'd be like, oh, yeah, that's pretty good to do it that way. Like he was, to me, always very fast and efficient at knowing exactly what worked and why. And he was also like, it was his show, and he knew exactly what he wanted to do, so he would take out a lot of like your own thing, like where you know, but that's where I shine. And he's like, that's not the whole point. The whole point is that my show is doing something that caters to the entire show. So I don't know, he's very good. He wasn't really involved in the writer's room at all. He would be very supportive of letting stuff gestate and get to rehearsal, but at rehearsal, he took control usually pretty quickly.
He would also sometimes, he would like disrupt us because he would go around from office to office, and he just loved to crack up the writers, I think. So he would get bored during the day waiting for the show,
Right.
and he would just go riff with the writers, and he would get addicted to making the writers laugh. And then sometimes we'd all be desperate and day of show, not having any idea what we were doing, and then he would just come in with his guitar and just start fucking around and riffing and get a lot of laughs, but as a result, he would have no material in that day's show.
Hence pubes.